Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to this video all about my testimony and how I came from the New Age into Jesus and into the truth and into freedom out of spiritual deception. I'm going to share it all. But first of all, I would like to share a very important scripture with you all. It's something that gives me comfort, and it's those of you that are in the New Age and that do that say things for protection and stuff, and it'll be very similar. And this is another thing that I'm going to bring up in my video as well, how the similarities, it's like a mirror for Christianity. So I'd just like to share Psalms 91 with you all. I'm going to put it on the screen as well, but I am going to say it, so you can, for those of you that struggle to read and whatever, and also it's very it's powerful when it hits you. So Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and then 10,000 at thy right hand, but shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even though the Most High thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honour him. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. That is such a powerful scripture. And it's something to give you strength and solace. Sometimes when you're at your wit's end and you just don't know what to do, seek God, trust in God. He's there. Just try it. That's all I'm saying. Before I knew about any of this, and before I felt the love of God, and before I knew about Christ and the miracles, and felt that love, that you can only get from God, from your creator. I was doing everything. I was trying everything. Everything but this. This is the thing, everybody's so open to try everything except for open the Bible, and I understand that because, there's a lot of deception out there, and everything seems to make sense, it's confirmation bias and stuff like that, and there's a lot of, I can't think of the right word, but it's all of the same, and really everything's just recycled. But the only thing that hasn't and will never be copied is Jesus, and that the Christ coming, the Messiah coming, that that hasn't happened again. So I'm going off on a tangent now, but that's another thing which breaks all that cycle theory and stuff. How everything repeats. Yes, things do, but when Jesus hasn't, so that's important, as well, when you're comparing things. But I just wanted to share that. I feel like, anybody that's watching this channel, that's if I've said something that makes you think and question, Psalms 91 if you feel worried or, you know, you're upset or whatever. And there's loads of other scriptures, but this, I just felt called to share this with everybody today. So hopefully, you know, somebody needs to hear that, or you can just keep that in your heart and, you know, let it hopefully it's planted a seed. That's what basically I wanted to say. So now my testimony. Okay, this, I don't know how long this video is going to be. This is like a 10-year accumulation up to this point, but I am going to really skim down it and just keep the important bits in. But I feel like the bits that I'm going to share are very important, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, you know, that sounds like me, that sounds like me. And that's scary to me as well, because it just shows you how many people do fall into the trap and do get lost, you know. So I just nearly lost my notes. So basically it all started with me in 2014, and I went along to a medium, but only for support. I wasn't supposed to be having a reading, because I used to be scared of the dark when I was younger. I used to have nightmares, you know. I was really not, like, I was scared of the dark. I didn't go looking for it. I was always told to stay away from stuff like that. So I never played with Ouija boards or anything like that. I never, you know, I always thought it was spooky and scary, and I got spooked really easily. So I went with my friend for support. And as soon as I got there, like, I walked in and the woman was like, you need to have a reading. Like, she didn't even give me my friends my first. She knew we had the same name and everything. And as soon as I sat down, like, because I didn't even want it, I was scared. Like, I really didn't want this. I sat down and she made me pick up the cards, and I picked them up, shuffled them. I was shaking. I was so scared, because I didn't know what to expect. And she sat back and she's like, oh, you know, and for me, I was like, oh no, she's going to tell me I've got loads of, like, demons around me or devils or whatever, because I didn't have a clue then. I didn't know, like, ghosts, I thought. And she was like, no, she said, there's a lot to be said. And before I even said anything else, she literally said the name of my friend that I lost when I was 10. He passed away suddenly, and he was like my best friend, and she said his name. And, like, nobody knew this. I didn't go around telling people. Only people, like, you know, in the community that was close to us knew. And this blew me away. Like, I felt like I'd been kicked in my tummy because I felt that power. And now I know it was that, like, that was getting me in. Like, that was the drawing. She knew. Well, not her. Like, when I say she, like, I don't mean the person herself. And I'm not going to mention names in this because I don't want to indicate anybody. Implicate anybody. So I might get my words a bit mixed up. But that her guides, they knew that was the way to get me in, because that was such a traumatic experience for me, and I bottled it in for all them years. I was like, what? I was 27. I was 27. So, you know, from age 10 to 27, I bottled it in all that time. I only told literally I didn't tell anybody, like, literally my partner, only bits, because I couldn't talk about it. So the girl that I went with didn't know about it, and certainly strangers didn't know about it. And that really rattled me, and she told me loads of other things, you know. And I was like, wow, this has got to be real. There's got to be a supernatural realm. And I was really conflicted about it. Like, at first I was like, wow, that's amazing, like, there is an afterlife. And on the other hand, I was so confused. I was like, wow, so he's been watching me all my life, like, blah blah blah, and all this, you know, all the things that run through your head. And that set me off on my journey. I wanted more. I was addicted to it. And I was going to different meetings and what. But I really liked this girl. And I went, it was about every 6 months I had one, and it was just, every time it would just blow me away, and I was hooked even more. I wasn't into crystals at this point. And then, so what are we on now? Right, yeah, and that's it. So I wasn't into crystals then, and then about a year later, I have an encounter with a musical encounter, basically, and I end up going on the BBC. I joined this group. It wasn't a band, it was a group. And we was all young, and they was like rappers, artists, and obviously I was a singer, because I sing a songwriter, because I write all my own stuff. I always have. And it worked. It was really good, actually. Like, you know, I wouldn't do it again, but it was good. We really wrote some good stuff. And we got on the BBC, and the guy that was like, who like wanted me in and whatnot, he was really heavily into crystals, and he was so like, he was vegan, like he was spiritual. Him and his girlfriend at the time. I mean, I don't know, they could still be together. I'm not sure. I completely pulled away from all that. And we was all having a musical session, and I ended up staying the night with everybody else. And obviously I stayed in the living room on their bed settee. I couldn't sleep. I was in there on my own all night, and he had a table full of crystals, and I could not sleep. Like, I was so disturbed. Like, I just felt anxious in the room. Like, I was just anxious. And obviously I was in somebody else's house, so I can't just go walking about. So I was just literally sitting there, like, all night on my own in somebody else's house, thinking, what is this I'm feeling? And when everybody woke up, I was like, look, I don't know what's going on. And I said, but am I supposed to feel like that with all them in the room? And he was like, yeah. He said, obviously, that's your connection, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I was bewildered at this point. I was like, no way. You know, I felt that. And he kind of told me all about crystals, crystal healing. Obviously, I got on the internet, did loads of research. But he was like, he was meshing about with his consciousness. And I didn't like that. I've never wanted to do that. You know, I've always been in control, even when I was younger, and, you know, I messed about in the rave scene and whatnot. I still never took it too far. I always stayed in control. So I didn't want to dabble in all that. And he was doing like, you know, that, like, I don't know if I could say it on here, but he was doing DMT and like ayahuasca. Well, I don't think it was like fake ayahuasca. I don't think it was real ayahuasca. But they was going to like Bristol and whatnot. And he was just really like, honestly, like, now I know he had the potential to be a cult leader, and I'm sure that's what he was trying to get together, because he was really freaky. And he got another girl in. I'd left by this point. I was like, look, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's too stressful for me. I had my own solo stuff going on, and I just completely disbanded. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, it's too much. But I did still, like, we kept in touch, like, in a distant way, because I was still intrigued by the crystals. So I started to buy crystals and everything, and that was it. I was hooked then. That started me off on Stonehenge. I wanted to know what all the stones was. I mean, I'd always been interested in stones, but this just took it to a next level, because I knew there was more meaning to it now, because I'd felt it, you know. It's this confirmation, like, because you've had a confirmation of that, you think, well, it's got to be real because I felt that, you know. And you can't even think that you might have just, it is putting off all that energy, and it's not good for you, you know. You think it's good because you're having a reaction, but really you haven't really thought about it. Like, hang on a minute, I didn't sleep all night, and it made me feel funny. So I don't know why I went out and bought loads of them. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm there now. What year are we on now? Because this is a lot. Right, yeah. So by this time now, I'd already had a release out. It was on Pure Bassline. I was really being successful writing songs, releasing them, but my actual life was going downhill. And something, like, my heart got broken, and it was irreparable. Well, I thought. And I was just going around trying to fix it. I was into self-help, like the amount of self-help that I did. And I bought this crystal, right? It was kyanite, and I started to meditate with it. And the first time I did, I put it on my head, right, on my crown chakra. And this for me, then I knew crystals worked. I knew there was something to it, because this was a feeling I'd never felt in my life. I was there lying down, meditating with my eyes shut. And I started to go, like, relax, feel my body relaxing. And then all of a sudden, I had this vibration from my feet shoot up, like, to my tummy, back down, and then up again, but into my heart. And as soon as it hit my heart, it was like, poof, my heart exploded, and I was howling, crying uncontrollably. I couldn't stop. I didn't know what I was crying about. and obviously everybody come rushing into me like, you okay, you okay? And I was just like, I couldn't speak. I could not get the words out to say, I can't stop. I was shaking, and I was rocking backwards and forwards, like trying to console myself. Literally, it was like I'd seen something terrible and I couldn't stop seeing it. But I hadn't. Like, that's just how I felt. So I was like this for about an hour, no joke. And then when I was coming round and I could speak, and I said to my partner, I was like, look, I don't know what that was. It really scared me. So I went on Google, and because he was like, you know what, he said, Jade, that you shouldn't have acted like that. Acted like I've never seen you act like that. Like that's not right. Surely that's not right. So I went on Google and had a look, and it said that I'd opened my heart chakra, and all that crying, that was just like years of trauma that I was releasing. So obviously that was like all them years in my head. This is what I'm thinking, all them years of trauma, you know, keeping it in about losing my close friend, my best friend, like my brother. He was like my brother, and we was that close. He lived behind me as well. So it weren't just like a friend from primary school, you know, this was like a really close part of my life. And you know, I had a massive hole like for years, and I never really spoke to anybody about it. Well, anyway, so I thought that was that coming out. I thought, great, I've worked through that trauma, but I still never meditated with crying out again, ever again, because that was so powerful. Like, it was intense. It shook me to my core, you know. And you can't, so I mean, when you have a feeling, when you feel something, it's different to thinking it. So, you know, you feel it and you know because you felt it. So it was really like, that set me off, right? So again, I'm into this, and I start speaking to the guy that I just disbanded from, and he's heavily into it now. Like, they're doing mushrooms, the lot. And I go around there the one night, because obviously I told you I was going through a traumatic time in my life, and I go around there just to escape. I don't do anything like I didn't do anything like that. Go around there and I'm just enjoying the vibe, you know, it's really chill, you know, even though he was literally had the potential to be Charles Manson, all right, he literally did. But the other people that was there was cool, you know, really nice people, down to earth. And this one guy was there who was like his lapdog, no joke, and this is the first time I've ever met him, and I felt so sorry for him. And if you're watching this video, you know you am, so I've already told you everything about this. It's not like I'm, you know, saying anything that hasn't already been said. And we got chatting all night, and you know, we had the same views on stuff. We weren't on drugs like that, you know, and we weren't high, so we was just literally having a proper like leveled conversation. And we become really good friends, like really, really good friends. And his girlfriend lived in Aberystwyth, and we hit it off like that. Like, literally, I drove down all the way to Aberystwyth, yeah, on Mother's Day, like with my family, to meet his adopted family, because she had children. And it was beautiful, and we hit it off. And she had a crystal shop, so obviously, there you go, I'm fully immersed in it again. Literally, my house was full at this point, full of crystals. I had them everywhere, in the bedroom, in my bathroom, in my living room, in my little tower area. Well, yeah, that's it, because I'd started getting cards at this point. I hadn't started doing it yet because I was learning, but I'd had a little altar and everything. I had it all. I had a little altar, the whole shebang, right? Angel. I started off with angel cards, thinking, oh yeah, it's not bad. Well, it is. It's just disguised as something, you know, as an angel of light, like it says I'm sure it's Ezekiel. I've got it written down. Oh no, it's Corinthians 11:4. Satan masquerades as an angel of light, you know, and that's what them angel cards was. So that's what it was, and that was a gateway for me to go in. So I'm doing all this, you know, I'm heavily into it. I'm going to a lot of ancient sites. I'm going deep into my megalithic studies. I'm interacting with proper like professional researchers, writers. You know, I'm having all these readings done by proper like renowned readers. I'm buying the books. I'm reading, because I've been an avid reader all my life. So to me, it's nothing to read a book. And you know, whether it stays in or not, that's another thing. But these were sticking, and I was remembering. I was learning. I was going to the sites, and I was divining all the sites. I had a pendulum. So I was interacting. But this is the thing, I didn't know what I was interacting with. You know, I always thought it was for the good, okay? like I'll do readings, and I knew something was off. I just felt it just didn't feel right. You know, it just did not feel right, and I could tell when the cards, like I could tell when it was dark, and I would always like change the deck. I wouldn't like it because I'd be like, no, I don't like this deck. It's just something dark. But really, there was all like it. You know, I was trying to interpret like in the best. I had good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This is what I'm saying. This is why knowledge is power, because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I'm there doing all this. I've got a full altar going, doing tarot readings now. Learned all the tarot, learned the angel cards, the whole lot. Oracle cards, that was another one. I like the oracle cards because they seem to give more like practical messages, you know, more practical, but they were still, obviously it's still a form of divination. So, you know, so what year are we on now? Okay, so like I said, I was really bad in self-help. I was doing all this, helping everybody else. I was trying to heal myself by healing others, okay? I'm interacting with all these amazing people, all these healers. I've got a beautiful friend, my friend who I met at my music friends. His girlfriend, obviously, become really good friends. And she starts to share some of her experiences. And I start to have experiences. And she recommended this guy to me. And straight off, I knew something was wrong. I was like, this don't seem right, because he was telling her like he was charging her £60 an hour, right, to tell her what she just told him, and it didn't make no sense to me. It was like cranial therapy or something like that. So I was like, because I wanted it, I wanted everything, okay, I wanted to try everything. So I was like, yeah, I want some of this. So I checked it out, and I was like, hang on, like this doesn't make any sense. And I completely clocked onto it, right? And the guy turned, and he tried to send me a bill, even though I didn't have an appointment, and all this and that. And I was like, no, you ain't getting me like this. You might con other people like this, but you ain't getting me. And I knew that was in like, what, 2019? And I knew something weren't right there. I was like, so people are operating like this within this community. Like, I didn't know. I was completely shocked. I was like, wow. This was the first time I experienced it. Like, I was like, wow, okay, you tried to con me. And then that put I opened my spiritual eyes a bit wider there, and I was like, okay, there's con artists in this. I thought everything was love and light, you know, I never thought anything else. So, what year we are now? Okay, I started a cleaning business. It was really successful. I mean, I threw myself into this, and I thought I'd done it all myself, you know, I'd manifested it all, blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to forget, obviously, what was going on in my daily life. So, obviously, that's why I threw myself into it. I had 4 members of staff. I was doing all Airbnb cleans, all booking.com, the whole lot. And I loved it, right? I absolutely loved it. Even though everything was falling apart, but I was still heavily into it. I was constantly having readings. And I did some cleaning for this one. I'm not going to say no names, obviously, because I don't want to get sued or anything like that. But it's the truth. It is the truth. And people, you know, they might... because what I'm going to say, you know, it's not good. So, but this is the truth. I cleaned for this one client, and it was a family, and they was loaded, absolutely loaded. And I did 4 hours a week, and they told me they was what's the word? It was like a Christian. I can't think of the word. Christadelphians or something, right? I think that's right. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. And she asked me what if I was religious, and I was like, no, I'm spiritual. And I had a big, massive peridot around my neck. And she was like, oh, what's that? And I told her. And she's like, why'd you wear that? And I told her. And she was like, well, we believe that Jesus will return. And I was like, well, that's great. You know, I had nothing against anybody. Obviously, I didn't believe it at all. You could tell me that, and I literally, in my head, I laughed, because I was like, yeah, right, you know, that's cool though. You can believe what you want. And she was really strange. Like, her and her husband, like, they asked me loads of strange questions, and he made me feel really strange whilst I was cleaning the bathroom once, and I had to leave the bathroom because I thought, you know what, I feel like he's a predator. So I left anyway. I started cleaning downstairs, and never thought nothing of it like that. You know, I never thought it was anything more than him just being, you know, a rich guy that's a bit bored, you know, and thought that it was all right to have a bit of banter like that. Do you know the kind of thing. So I never judged him by it. I just thought, you know, I'm just going to move myself away from the situation. Okay, that's the right thing to do. And weeks went on, obviously, and that was cool. That's no, never. It was just something was odd. Something was odd, right? I know I had this, and something was quite odd. And then one day she come downstairs in a purple cloak, and she was like, Jade, I won't need you next week. I'm going to London. I'm going to London with my daughter for some, what did she say? We've got a meeting because it was something to do with her daughter's university or something. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I said, I like your cloak. And she was like, oh yeah, she said, it's just the way I like to dress, where I'm going. And I was like, where are you going? You know, and obviously I didn't ask more than that because I thought, I'm a cleaner, you know, it's rude to, you know, intrude. And so I thought, that's weird, like, Christians don't wear cloaks like that. Like, he's looked like a witch, you know. She was like, she looked like a witch. The way, and it was like her long dress and the boots and stuff. And I thought, I've never seen a Christian like that. Well, anyway, Halloween was coming around, right? And I weren't Christian. I didn't know anything. I just, deep within me, I knew that Christians don't celebrate Halloween. Even though I'd never been told it. I'd never read the Bible. I didn't know. But something in me just knew. Right, and that's discernment. That is discernment, and that was my discernment before I even knew I had discernment. Okay, and they come downstairs, and she was like, "No, she come in. Sorry, she come downstairs. She come in because I was cleaning the kitchen, and she was like, can you come a bit earlier next week? Obviously, because we've got to give we're having a celebration of Halloween at the church." And I thought, oh, right, okay. And she said, yeah. And her husband was leading the talk, leading the speech. Sorry. And I thought, oh, wow. And she said, yeah, it's quite a big thing. And I was just like, oh, okay. And something in me, I was just like, and she must have seen the look on my face. Like, she must have seen the look that I was trying to work it out, but I didn't ask. And I just thought, that's really weird. And I got back and I was on Google and I was like, do Christians celebrate Halloween? And no, they don't. They can, obviously, some churches put on stuff like for harvest and stuff like that, and it can cross over. But that ain't a good church. I'm just saying that ain't a good church if they do that. But anyway, so yeah, that does happen, but they're not the way that these, like, they don't celebrate it in that way. And there was literally the way she was going on, but like this big massive ball. You know, it was like, it was weird. Okay, it was really weird, and I didn't know anything then at all. Now a couple of weeks went by, and now it was loaded, as I said, there was loaded. She come into the kitchen to me. I was always cleaning the kitchen, it was beautiful. She come into me and she was like, oh, Jade, I was cleaning out my jewellery and I just thought you'd like this. And she gave me this Calvin Klein snap watch. Okay, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It hadn't even been worn. And obviously I was like, oh no, I can't accept that, thank you. I said, it's beautiful. I said, but I can't accept it. And she insisted. She would not let me leave without that. And she left it on the side because obviously I didn't want to take it, and she left it on the side. And when I was leaving, she's like, Jade, when she paid me, she's like, don't forget this. And I was like, oh, I really like, I can't accept this from you. I said, because I'm going to feel guilty, you know, because obviously it's expensive. And she's like, no, I insist, I'm getting rid of it. And I says, I know you do your music and whatnot, and it'd be nice for you to be on stage to have something nice. And I was just like, okay, brought it back. I didn't even wear it at first because I was just like, I just kept it on my jewellery part, and I was just like, it's really nice gift, blah blah blah. And I started gigging a bit more, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna wear that, and I wore it. And when I had it on, it felt weird. Like, I don't know, like I just felt depressed and weird, like down, like really down. I didn't know why, you know what I mean? And I took it off. I was like, you know what, I think it's something to do with this, because my mood just changed over these coming weeks. And the only thing that I could think of was this. That's the only thing I'd changed in my life, because obviously when you're in the spiritual community, you look for signs. You think, oh, well, what have I done? It's this. Is it because I haven't done this and I haven't cleansed this, you know? And you're constantly searching for, what have I done? So I thought, okay, it's this. So I went to have a reading. It's like going to the doctor. So I went to a reading with this beautiful woman who was local. I didn't know her, but she was local to my area. Never met before. And she was like, well, I'd met her before. Obviously, I'd had a reading with her before, but, you know, I didn't know her in that area before, okay, before I had a reading with her. But this was my second reading with her. And I had it in my bag the whole time. And at the end, I was like, oh, can I ask you something? I said, can I just give you this? And can you tell me can you tell me if you get anything from it? And straight away, she was like, Jane, this ain't yours, is it? And I was like, no. And she says, you need to return this back. Oh, excuse me, Jill. She's like, you need to return it back to whoever gave it to you. She said, because this has got bad intentions on it. And it's only going to make you feel unwell. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was dumbfounded. I've got goosebumps right now. And I was like, I said, you know what? If you knew how this has been making me feel, I knew something was afoot with it. But I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I thought it was something I'd done. Oh wow! So obviously it freaked me out. She said, you need to return it. I said, look, I ain't stepping foot on her house. Something told me you can't go back there. Don't go back there, Jade. I had this little voice in my head. Don't go back there. So I put it in an envelope. And I posted it, right, to the address with a little note saying, thank you for the gift, blah, blah, blah. But I cannot accept it. I'm returning it to you. You know, I'm very grateful, but no, that's it. Thank you very much. End of. No return address or nothing like that, okay? So that was that. And honestly, I felt really good. I felt, you know, like I'd achieved something, like I'd done something, you know, I'd battled something. And it made me aware, like, oh my life, there's people out here operating like this, putting curses on things to give to people for what? What did I do? I didn't do anything, right? I didn't do nothing. But what is it? It's a spiritual war, isn't it? So it's the light against the dark, always. Now I knew something was afoot of them, and now I know with what I know, they was in a cult. Simple as that. Masquerading as Christadelphians, and there wasn't. Because there was weird. Her husband was weird. The way he was with me was weird. And I've grew up, like, most of my friends are male. So it's not like, I don't have to be around males. No. That like, he was really weird. Really weird. Well, anyway, moving on. So I didn't clean there no more because obviously I didn't go back there. I was like, I can't. This is too much. Because you didn't know what she was trying to do. You know what I mean? Like whether she was trying to, I don't know, brainwash me with something to do something with them. I don't know. You don't know. Right? Okay. Anyway. So, what you will know. Okay. COVID happens. Right? That's it. I left the music industry. I retired because I had enough. I'd had enough of it. Like, I was putting way too much into it. I wasn't getting nothing out. And I felt like it was sucking my soul. I really did. I felt like my soul was being drained from me. The life was being sucked from me. Too many eyes on me. And because I'd heightened up with, apparently, I was so sensitive. Well, I still am sensitive, but like not in that way. I could feel everything, and I knew people weren't being genuine. I just knew. I could sniff it out. And I just thought, you know what, it's best for me to take myself out before I do something that is going to completely flip the lid on all of this. And I left because if I'd have said what I wanted to say at the time, oh my God, that's what I'm saying. A lot of the fire would have gone out. The fire would have gone on, and it wouldn't have been put out. I'm telling you that now. I think it'd still be burning now. Okay, because the repercussions of that would have been like drastic. But it's the truth. It's the truth. And you know, if I ever get put in that position again, you know, it will come out, because at the moment everything's fine. It doesn't need to be said because, you know, everything's been dealt with. But if anything like that happens again, then, you know, things have got to be addressed, because clearly you haven't learnt your lesson. So, you know, well, anyway, so COVID happens. I leave the music industry. I lose my business. Obviously, I am at the bottom, rock bottom, right? Thinking, what am I going to do? What's going on with my life? I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I want. But I did know, you know, I just wanted more and more and more spiritual experiences. I was searching, constantly searching, opening myself up to like everything. That's what I've got on each. Opening myself up to everything. And so I'm on YouTube. As you know, I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube and I find the most beautifulest community ever. People that get me, you know, I feel like, yeah, this is it. This is who I am. This is what I'm meant to be. I'm a healer. You know, I'm a medium. I'm this, whatever. I'm doing this. I had dragons. You know what I mean? I've seen it all, right? And I just couldn't get enough. Let me just see where I am now, because I don't want to skip over anything, right? So I was already qualified in Reiki, right? I had all that, all the certificates. I was qualified sound healing by then, sound therapist by then. I had all my bowls, you know, all my tuning forks, everything, right? So I'm in this community now. I meet loads of people. People obviously straight off, you can tell, wow, people aren't genuine. People's true colours, people being attacked, spiritually attacked. I didn't even know that was a thing until I was a part of this. So I'm trying to think the best way to come into this. So I'm heavily watching everything spiritual, okay, loads of things. I'm doing meditations. I'm wanting to open my crown chakra, my everything. I just want it all open, okay? I want to get there now. That's me. I want to get there now. So this one facilitator was meant to be really good. And she looked sweet. Listen. Satan masquerades as an angel of light, okay? So this person was beautiful. Absolutely stunning, okay? Beautiful woman. Still is. And listen, but the things that are operating are not, okay? And I did a meditation, right? I didn't even tell people about this in the spiritual community. I did a meditation on this woman's channel, and it was to open my crown chakra, and it changed my life. Straight away, I knew something didn't feel right. Something was tingling on top of my head, and apparently that's normal. So I wrote a comment on the channel. I was like, and I was crying again, burst out into tears, felt like I was doing something wrong. Excuse me. So I wrote on the channel, am I supposed to be feeling like this, blah, blah, blah. Never got an answer, right? Over the next week, I was ill, really ill. I had a really nasty cold. And this is 2021 by now, by the way, 2021. I had a really nasty cold, couldn't shift it, so I was in bed for a week. And then all of a sudden, I went to obviously to have a wash, and I noticed I put my hair up, and I had a patch of hair missing. So obviously I freaked out. My hair was like down to here, okay? I freaked out. Like, wow, what's going on? What's going on? What's this? You know what I mean? Phoned the doctors, they couldn't get me in. I know it sounds dramatic, yeah, but that's the person I was, right? I phoned the doctors because I was panicking. I was like, what's happened to me? My hair just got a big, massive patch of hair missing. And it was like smooth bald, okay? It wasn't just like I'd lost a bit of hair. It was smooth, right? So I ran to the chemist because the doctor couldn't get me in. Showed the chemist, and he noticed I had a patch on my hand. And he was like, does it itch, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, yeah. I said, it's been itching for days. And he said to me, obviously, something that was horrible. And he said, well, I think you've got this. And he was like, but look, that's like medieval. And he was like, so I don't know, like, you need to go and see a doctor. Seen a doctor, confirmed it. Obviously, I completely fell to pieces. I already have OCD anyway, like with anything like that, right? Constant, I can't take it. And anything on my skin, even if a fly lands on me, no, I can't stand it. So this like completely ruined me. It ruined me. I had to get rid of everything, and within 2 weeks, I was completely bald. I'd lost all my hair, completely bald. I don't even know. There isn't even a word. Look, I don't want to get emotional. There isn't even a word to describe it, right? But I never thought that could have happened to me. I was stupid. I was so pig-headed. I never thought anything like that would have happened to me. Especially not coming from like nobody in my family had lost their hair. You know, nobody had ever had anything like this. You know, like nothing. And so I never expected it. And wow, like I was totally bald, like completely. I'll put a picture in actually, you know, and you'll see for yourself. And I went everywhere. I was standing in my shower crying my eyes out with my hair before I was bald. It was coming out in clumps. And there was one person throughout it all that would keep coming up on my YouTube page, and I didn't know her. One person. And she would give me strength. Really, she would. And that's how I know God put her there at that time, right? She gave me strength. She would stop me from crying, and she would make me like pull my bootstraps up, you know, fix myself up, brush myself off, and laugh. You know, I'd laugh at it. And I ended up becoming a regular. I loved her to bits. I still do, right? Joanne, I'm going to say your name, right? Because I love you to bits, okay? And I'm going to tag you in this video. And that gave me a bit of comfort, okay? That gave me comfort. But anyway, I'm still bald, right? I was still bald. And I was going all around the world to every single witch doctor, okay? And every one of them was giving me different things, like what had happened to me. Even though I knew it's got to have been that meditation that I did, because obviously that was the only thing that I'd done different. Again, researching, looking for things, but nothing, it wasn't coming back anything like that. I got told it was my mother in a past life. I'd got told this, that. Listen, the things I got told, it was disgusting, really, because it just sent me round and round. Even though these people, it was comforting me at the time, because obviously this is what I wanted. I wanted answers, and yeah, you're giving me answers, even though it weren't the right answers. But at the time, it made me feel better about myself. Excuse me. And I ended up falling into this group, that group, never really sticking, because I was like, you know what? I'm seeing a lot of like deception in this amongst people in the groups, and I was thinking, well, how can you be all love and light if you're backstabbing and, you know, slagging each other off behind the scenes? And I'm not about that. Do you know what I mean? That's in the past. Like that's childish stuff. I'm a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? I don't want to be doing that. I'm literally I want to better myself. I want enlightenment. You know, that's what I wanted. I wanted ascension. You know, I didn't want to do any of that. That's like low grade stuff, you know. I was thought, no, that's gonna lower my energy levels. I don't want to do any of that. You're trying to keep staying high. Again, it's toxic positivity, isn't it? Like, you know, you can't be positive all the time, right? So that was they're just showing human behaviour. You know, it's just natural about you. Just humans are like that. You can't all get on all together at the same time all the time. You know, it's not going to happen. Well, anyway, and I met some beautiful people that I'm still friends with now, and people as well, like my mate Kimberly, who was already a child of God, and she lost her way, went into spiritual community, and then went back, you know, and she didn't know that I'd found God, even though she'd been praying for me. And I cannot thank this woman enough for praying for me, because she prayed for me without me even knowing, right? And God saved me. Jesus saved me from where I was. He met me where I was at, you know, and that is, it's just, you can't explain it. So, right, I'm doing all this. 9 months, I was searching. 9 months, still bored. And then it's strange, really, because I was part of Joanne's community, obviously a beautiful community, and there was nothing wrong there. I never had a negative experience amongst all those people. Beautiful. That's why I stayed there, because I liked it there. I was like, you know what? I don't see anything wrong with this. Like, this is okay. I didn't feel like I was doing anything bad. It was literally about learning to cope with life, you know what I mean? Learning to get through the challenges, and, you know, working through the energies and stuff like that. It weren't no ritual stuff. It wasn't nothing cultish. You didn't have to chop your arm off, you know, nothing like that, or, you know, ignore your family or anything. So it was beautiful. And I ended up meeting a music guy from there, and him and his girlfriend, beautiful, got on with both of them. And obviously he had my contact, and how all this happened, right? How I got my answers at the time for what happened to me was, I was scrolling on YouTube, right? And I seen a post of a very famous YouTuber telling everybody, warning everybody about the woman whose meditation I'd done originally with the crown chakra, right? 2 weeks before I ended up, you know, losing all my hair. And she wrote this post, right, warning everybody about her, saying that she'd been took over. Everything else, literally, before I even finished the second paragraph, I was crying on the floor, in a ball, crying, screaming, going, how could she do this to me? I knew. So I'd spent 9 months going round when I knew from the start that something weren't right with me after doing that meditation. So anyway, obviously I was frantic. I couldn't believe it. I wanted revenge. Okay, but this woman lives in America. There's no way. So I messaged the woman who posted this on social media, famous YouTuber. I emailed her, told her everything what I've just said, and I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes, she emailed me back, and she was so kind. She was so graceful to me. She gave me a prayer of protection, which worked at the time. I'm not going to take anything away from it. These things work. They do work because obviously you're giving it the power, you know, and they will work to get you in, to make you use it. Okay, you're not going to use something if it don't work, are you? So it's common sense, really. So I mean, when you start looking through them spiritual eyes and look through your real eyes, and you realise, yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, so she wrote all that. I sent her an email. She emailed me back, and it you know what? I had confirmation. It was confirmation for me, and that was enough. So nobody knew apart from me and this YouTube woman. And the next day, it was 2/2/2/2/2/2. Okay, 2nd of the 2nd, 2022. Right. And I'm walking over the field, as I do. I live over the nature reserve. I'll go over the nature reserve. And I get a text, a text message off Joanne saying, Jade, I think you need a session, blah, blah, blah. I've got your contacts off such and such. I hope you don't mind. And obviously, clearly I didn't. And I was like, I just walked through the door. And she's like, I'll give you 10 minutes and I'll call you. I'll video call you. And obviously I'm like, wow, I can't believe all this. You know, this is mental. And I had a quick coffee and whatnot. And I'll come upstairs, you know, she called me, video called me. And it was like, Joanne, straight away. She knew everything. Obviously, God was working through her in that moment. God uses people, you know, like, I'm not saying, look, I'm not telling people to go out there and go and get a reading done or go and get a healing. But look, what did I say? God meets you where you're at. And she, literally, I needed that. I needed Joanne. Joanne saved me out of a black hole because I didn't know God. I didn't know Jesus then, right? I didn't know. And then nobody showing me or telling me, you know. And what she did for me was unbelievable. She literally, like, rewound everything that had been done. And it was quite beautiful. We had a really beautiful moment. And I spent a week literally in my bedroom, rocking backwards and forwards, no joke. I had a little bit of a detachment because I couldn't believe what had happened to me, and also the other thing that had happened. It was beautiful, it was incredible. And that's when I knew how dangerous meditation was for what happened to me. And things had to be removed from me and stuff like that, and it was scary. It was something like you see out of a film. And that was it for me. That was enough. I was like, I'm never doing another meditation ever again. I'm only going to meditate myself. So I started going into my own meditations, owning myself, doing it myself, doing my own music. Because even music, you know, that can get you into a certain way of thinking, and before you know it, you've been took over. So I was all right. I was all right for a bit. I just stuck to Joanne. I was just like, you know what? Whatever Joanne tells me I need to do, I will do. So anyway, I did that. Things started happening though. Things still was afoot in my house. I'd opened up portals in my house, right? Yeah. And here's me thinking I'm closing it all down and shutting off the energy. No. I was having things coming in and out, being oppressed demonically, like no joke. And again, Joanne was like the light and just literally showed me, you know, look, this is what's happening. She opened my eyes to that. She was like, look, this is bad. Like, you got bad things coming in, and I didn't even think that could happen, right? So I stopped straight away. I was like, I'm not doing it in my house no more. If what I'm doing is not good enough, I'm just not going to do it in my house anymore, because I was shutting it down. I was doing everything. I was cleansing the space. I was cleansing my cards. I was saying the prayers. I was saying this, that, the other. I was doing everything. I was calling Archangel Michael. But that in itself, you know, it says in the Bible, I can't remember which one it is now. I'll put it up though, where it says, we're not to call upon the angels. The angels work for God. You know, they're God's messengers. You know, they're not for us. They'll give us a message, but they don't work for us. We can't call upon them. You know, and look what everybody does in the spiritual community. All you're doing is calling upon the angels, and it's, you know, you're not getting who you think you're getting. You know, and I feel so bad saying it, like, because I know I believed it myself. I was in it. I believed it myself. You know, I was deleting all my videos now, but just take my word for it, because I was, people that know from this channel know I was doing readings. You know, I was saying it. I was doing exactly what I'm telling you now not to do. But only because I know, and it is coming from a place of love. You know, it's like, I've written this passage down, which is beautiful. It's in Ephesians. And it's Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. So, you know, you can't judge. I can't judge people for doing this because I've done it. You know, imagine if God would have judged me. I don't even bother thinking about that. So, you know, so I'm saying, even though I'm saying all this, I'm not judging anybody for doing it, because I know how easy it is to be deceived. And I know how easy it is when you're getting confirmation after confirmation, but it's just confirmation built on lies. There's no, you know, this is why you need to test the spirits. It's in John, I can't remember, I'll link it again. Where it's saying, you know, anybody that comes in the name of the Lord, or pretends to be Jesus, or, you know, a higher ascended being, test it. Ask them, is Jesus Lord and Saviour? Did he die on the cross for your sins? You know, ask him that. Ask the spirits. And if they answer, and if they say yes, Jesus is their Lord and Saviour, then yes, you are anointed, my child. But if they don't, I'll guarantee they'll fizzle off back into the darkness, and you probably won't ever hear from them again, because you've called them out. They know. This is the thing. Your guides and your you know, your guides and your little helpers and whatever else, and your angels, they know. Okay, they know who Christ is. They know Jesus. That's why they know who he is. But they ain't gonna tell you. They'll tell you he's they'll tell you he's an alien. They'll tell you everything that he's not. They'll tell you he's just a hippie. He was just a healer. Like, I believe that, and that's, it's disgusting now. I can't believe it. But it's easy. It was easy to believe because it made sense at the time. So obviously it did. You know, it was just easy to just go along with it, because why else am I going to question it when everything else is happening and I'm having all these experiences and whatever else? So let me go back to where I was at now. So where was I at now? Okay, 2021. So I'm doing it all. I'm clearing all my energy. I'm really strict. I'm not getting involved in anything. I'm not joining anything. I'm not doing any meditations. I'm literally just keeping to me. You know, thinking about myself, putting myself first, doing all my crystals, like really heavily into crystals and readings and stuff. I was working in a second-hand like antique shop. It was beautiful. I was clearing energy out of there. You know, I thought I was a superhero, and you know, everything was going all right. Then 2022 comes around. I get asked to be in this band, which is like a dream come true. Like, literally, it was a dream come true. It was everything I'd ever wanted. And again, I was buzzing. I thought I'd manifested it. But no, sorry. Let me rewind. After, so I have that session with Joanne, and I'm rocking backwards and forwards, and so I'm really strict with myself. Everything, you know, I'm not doing anything no more. I'm like, no. And then within a couple of months, my hair started to grow back. Like, I had little white, like, stubble, you know, and my hair was growing back. I never had no hair. And this was incredible. I thought, wow, because everything I was doing with Joanne's group and everything else and all the internet community, I thought, I've manifested it, I've done it, because it's the only thing that I was doing that was manifesting, right? So this again just made me feel untouchable. Okay, so I'm working in the antique store. I'm loving it. 2023 comes around and I'm still strict, not doing anything. I get invited into this band. A dream come true. Love it. Still spiritual. Loving, like I say, loving it. It's everything that I know. Everything's what I always wanted. Again, I thought I'd manifested this. But when I was in it, something just didn't feel right again. It was like I was being hit with a wave of everyone's energy, like all the audience's energy. It was like I just wanted I couldn't switch it off. You know, I was so sensitive, I just could not switch it off. And it was like, what am I doing? I felt like an imposter in my own body. I was like, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And it was such like an anticlimax after how excited I was. And then all of a sudden, boom, it was like, I can't do it. Like, I don't feel right doing it. I didn't feel like I should be doing it. It was so mad. It was so mad. And then around August time, I mean, I did it. We did gigs, did weddings. It was beautiful, incredible. I love my people. They're my kind of people. Do you know what I mean? And incredible musicians. A big up Imani, big up Reggae Wine Nation. You know, that's my band. But I was like, you know what? I've got to pull away from this. I can't do it. Again, like self-destruction all the time. For the whole 10 years, self-destruction, right? And because I was anxious all the time, you know, and it was because I was being oppressed by all these crystals and all these beliefs. Well, anyway, so August comes and I started noticing the patch on my head again. And obviously I'm like, wow, how has this happened? Like, I ain't let nobody in. Nobody's got intercepted my energy, you know. It's like a fortress, okay? And so I go to Joanne, obviously, and she's like, no, there's nothing, Jade, there's nothing afoot. Again, it's me, self-destruction again. But this left me really questioning, because I'd done loads of like past life regressions and stuff like that, and nothing was coming up about this. And I thought, nah, there's something more. Like, there's something I'm missing. What ain't I doing? You know, I thought, what else is there? And I was really distraught for weeks. I was depressed. I thought, this is happening again. I can't believe it. You know, everything I've done for the past 3 years, it's just been for nothing. If it's just going to happen to me again. And so my belief in it all just started to just dwindle. I was like, nah, this shouldn't have happened. You know, I thought I was a superhero. I thought I was powerful. You know, how's this happened to me now? So I go on YouTube, because I don't know what else to do, and I just type in woman getting healed, because in my head I thought I'd obviously read it in a book or learnt it from somewhere else. If you see healing take place, then obviously that'll make you get healed, you know. And I thought, right, I'm going to try it. So I went on YouTube, typed in woman getting healed, and I saw this video, and I thought it was just like a made up thing. I did never ever think it would be something real. And it was of Jesus healing the man at the pagan pool, right? And I broke down in tears. It was like something come over me. Yeah, it was just like, oh, this is it. What have I been doing? Everything I've been doing has been wrong. I just knew in an instant. I'd never read the gospel. I didn't know who Jesus was. I didn't know he was a healer. That's the only thing I'd ever seen of him healing anyone. But I knew it was like, my discernment was, it shook me. It shook me. And I was like, nah, I've got to look into this. So I did. And again, because I was in the spiritual community, you ain't going to find Jesus, the real Jesus, in the spiritual community. You just won't. I went down the Dolores Cannon route, thinking he was just another prophet and a messenger. No, it's blasphemy, that is, and I can't believe I ever did it. I burnt all them books, by the way. I burnt them all, because they shouldn't even be in print, really, because it's so far from the truth. It's unbelievable. And you can clearly see, because it's a spiritual war. It's God against the devil, well, the devil against God all the time. You know, and it's just unbelievable. Like, when you can see, and it always has been a battle, you know, because it's on every level. It doesn't matter. Like, it's on every level. The deception is hard. It's hard and it's rife. But anyway, going back to, well, what happens, and I start looking heavily, reading scripture. I get a Bible. I get the Bible app. And I just knew, like, this is the truth. This is the truth. I cried. And then when I read the one that I shared on my video, obviously I broke down in tears, because I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I've done this. You know, I can't believe I didn't know that I was working for the devil, and I never had any intentions of doing it. But literally, like what I said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I, in an instant, stopped everything. Like, I knew. And everybody thought I'd gone mad, because I literally did a 360, you know, but I couldn't stop. It was just like, no, this is it. This is everything that I've been searching for, I found. Because it was all lining up archaeology as well, because everything that I'd been searching for years and trying to find answers for and investigate was in the Bible. It was all in the Bible all along. And I just needed to just look, you know, and I just wish I'd done it a long time ago. And so obviously I'm looking then, and I'm like, I don't want to fall for any doctrine, you know what I mean? I don't want to be swept along with a cult. So I just studied the words, okay? Read the gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and that changed. It transfigured me, like it transformed me. Reading the book of Acts, all the miracles in that, you know, and I'm out here searching for healing, searching for truth, searching for spiritual power. And yet I'd never read the book of Acts. I'd never read any of it. And reading it, it still does now. Like I cry. Like, it really, the word of God is the truth, you know. And I know everybody's like, I even believed it. I believed that it was all made up fairy tales, you know, to make somebody believe another man's belief and whatever else. And really, that's not. Look, you can't get more free than this. This is freedom. Because you don't need to do anything. You've just got to walk the walk. You've just got to walk with Jesus, and that's it. You haven't got to do anything else. You just got to be kind, loving, tender, forgiving. You know, we're all out here. We're all human beings. We're all creations of God at the end of the day. We're all God's children, okay? And we all need to be treated with the same love and respect as each other. Otherwise, you're not living in God's kingdom, you know, and that's it. Like, you know, like the fall, the floods, go back to Giuseppe's living proof of that. Why the flood had to happen, you know, and it predates it. So it's all there. Like, you know, that's another video, because the amount of connections and the dates where it all matches up, you know, I don't need, even without my faith, you know, that's enough for me. But, you know, it's just an added bonus. But, so, I'm literally living on a high. Can't believe, no confusion whatsoever. No confusion. Just more confirmation. And don't forget, I'm trying to make it not be true. Because I'm like, no, it can't be. It can't be Jesus. It can't be Jesus. But it was. And it is. So I couldn't disprove it. And like when I'm looking at the world now, it's like I can see where it's not. You get what I mean? So cut to October, right? I'm absolutely, by this point, like I'm all in. I'm like, yeah, I'm all out. I'm all out of the spiritual community by this point. I'm like, no, I can't do it anymore. It's against God. All them beliefs, all them views, instantly gone. Never even questioned it. Never looked back once. And I wasn't even in a church. I didn't have anybody around me apart from, like, I had to tell my friend Natalie, right? And I'm going to be doing a video with that as well, so she can share her testimony. Because I got her into the crystals and everything, and I felt bad. Like, I was compelled to ring her, so I rang her, told her. And obviously, she'd already been mulling around it anyway, because her husband had already known that the crystals were bad, because how they was making him feel. So this was just like a confirmation for her. It was like God moved through both of us, you know. It's incredible the way that it happened, and it happened so fast. And I went and got baptised. Nat was supposed to come, but she had car problems and whatever else. And we were just like, you know what? It's God's will. You know, you don't force things. And it also as well, knowing that, you know, taking that responsibility off yourself, like it's so freeing. And it's like, you know what? Let go and let God. And look how many times you say that in the spiritual community, but you don't mean it. But to let go and let God is so powerful. To know, you know what, it's not down to me. I'm not almighty and the all-powerful one. It's God. You know what I mean? And that's so freeing. And it's so comforting to know, you know. So I'll get baptised. It's incredible. Life-changing. Fully water baptism. Immersed in the water. Incredible. I still never joined a church. Still haven't joined a church. And I've got no words for the change in my life. Everything that I used to believe for before has gone, and I see the world now with such love and without judgment. Whereas before I would judge people, and I judge myself. The worst, judge myself. I can't. My hair's up. My hair's on a mad one. I would judge myself, and I don't do that anymore. You know, because only God can judge. Including ourselves. We can just look at ourselves and try and do better, you know, instead of keep sitting in self-reflection all the time and, oh, my shadow work, this, that and the other. That just keeps you down and depressed. Psychologically, it's proven that's what it does. But to look and think about something that's higher than you, in control, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And it fills you with joy. It fills you with joy, absolute joy and excitement. And no, I'm not saying, you know, you've got to live like the Bible, okay? Like there's some crazy people that live by the Old Testament. No. Anybody that knows the Bible knows the New Testament is Jesus, right? Jesus came and freed people from the Old Testament. So that doesn't apply, you know. The only thing that applies is the New Testament, the gospel. The gospel, that's it. Everything else is always taken out of context and used, okay? Against God, because that's Satan's work, okay? So I don't want to hear, oh yeah, but all these cults that have done this to kids and whatnot, yeah, they have, and it's disgusting, and it's not the work of God, it's the work of Satan, okay? And it's like in the spiritual community, oh yeah, it's a spiritual war. Ask yourself, who are you warring against? What side are you on? And they'll say, oh yeah, it's all these the dark side. I can't even remember the names for it now. Honestly, I'm so disassociated. The black, I don't even know. The black hats, is it? Or the dark hats, the black hats, or the dark. I think it's just the dark, but I'm sure it is. And that is just in itself is just the whole wrong way to look at it, because it's not. It's God and the devil. Okay. Good and evil. It's not the black hats and the light workers. No, that's just another way of putting another spin on it, you know, to make somebody else agree with your views. It's simple. It's good and evil, which is God and Satan. So that's it. And we already know that in the spiritual community, because as I say, we always say it's a spiritual war. But stop and think, what is the spiritual war then? Who am I working for? Just ask yourself that. Because I had to, you know. So anyway, after my baptism, there were, you know, honestly, it's just been up and up and up. I mean, even losing my uncle, I lost my uncle. He died suddenly. He got diagnosed with cancer in September, and they only give him like 2 weeks to live, yeah? And we prayer warrior. We was all praying for my uncle, and he lasted till after Christmas, and he got New Year with all of us, with his family, with my nan and granddad, and he passed away on the 3rd of January. So, you know, I can't thank God enough for giving us that time, for answering our prayers, and for allowing my uncle to pass away in his sleep. You know, he wasn't on his own, and that is just like, we prayed for that. I prayed for that, and God answered my prayers, and I can't thank him enough. I'm so grateful. And this is what I mean, prayers do get answered, you know. And you think it's all your manifestations are working, you're like, try God. You know, try him. Because you ain't got nothing to lose other than the negative stuff that's working through you. Because obviously you need God in your life to keep you on the right, what is it, narrow is the way and straight through the gate to salvation, and wide is the path to destruction. So be the few, not the many, and not many get there, only a few get there. So be the few, not the many, you know. And that makes so much sense. And it's the same, goes back to what I've always said, and I will always continue to say: be the change that you want to see in the world, you know. And that's such a God thing to say as well. And I didn't even know before, but it is, you know, because nothing will change unless you make it change. You know, you can't just look at something and expect it to change. It's not gonna. You've got to do something, and that's why I wanted to share my testimony, because if I just go away and say nothing, nobody will know the power, and nobody will see the fruit of God's work. You know, look what God's done to me. Look how He's worked through me. Oh, I just can't. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for my salvation. You know, and I've totally rebuked anything to do with the occult in the name of Jesus Christ. And listen, I ain't never going back. And I ask anybody that's watched this video just to think about it, you know, just have a go. Just try it. And I'm gonna stay on this channel as well. Because I've got people that I'm gonna come on talking about this as well, because this isn't just me. This isn't just happened to me. This is going on all over the world. And it's something that needs to be spoken about and addressed, because I think we should all, even people that are in the spiritual community, let's talk, you know, let's have a proper conversation. Let's not have an argument. Let's talk and level it out, you know, and see and show, look, this is the work of Satan. This is harmless, because some of it is, like, and I'll go into that, what I think is harmless, like, in another video. But all these readings and stuff and channeling, no, that needs to be stopped, to protect yourself, to protect your soul, you know. Well, God's got your soul, but, you know, to protect your salvation and to protect your sanity, because a lot of people out here in the spiritual community ain't got their sanity, and they think they have, but they haven't, because, like, having experiences that ain't real and seeing and hearing things that ain't real, you know, is a sign of an abnormality. And, you know, we can't have people with abnormalities leading other people into destruction. You know, I think that's serious. I think it's pretty serious. And this is something that I've seen a lot when I've been researching cults, because obviously I'm aware, I'm not associating with anybody that I think is into something that ain't of God or of the gospel, okay? I don't want to get into any twisted doctrines. So anyway, one thing that they've all got in common with these cult leaders, they're all in charge of these people. They're all seen as like God or prophets or messengers or Jesus, which I can't get my head around that. And, like, they're mentally ill because they're schizophrenics. Okay, they've got they think that they are spiritual people, like, not spiritual, sorry, ascended masters, like prophets and messengers and Jesus and archangels and whatever else, and they're leading people, and a lot of it is abusive, like seriously abusive and harmful to children and everything else, and, you know, the worst, and they're standing up there saying, yeah, I'm whatever, you know. And I think there's got to be some kind of regulation somewhere, okay? And that's religion. That's religion for you. That's not even, you know, spiritual, well, you know, whatever, I don't even know, whatever it be called now, new age. So I think this is something that needs to be addressed, you know, because if it was regulated a little bit more, you wouldn't have all these nut jobs leading off all these cults, killing all these people and thinking that they're Jesus. It needs regulation. Even if it's like regulation from the public, somebody needs to regulate it. Nobody seems to talk about it. You know, you can't just be saying that you're this and that and then leading people, taking people away from their families, children being harmed and stuff like that. You can't be doing it. Like, where's the regulation, you know? So yeah, so I just implore everybody to just try God. You know, He ain't gonna reject you. No, He's gonna welcome you with loving arms. And when you feel that love, you ain't gonna want to go anywhere else. I'm telling you, you're just gonna be on fire for God, on fire for Jesus. It is. I feel like we've got a Jesus revolution. Like, everywhere I'm seeing, it's like another testimony. It's amazing how many people are being free from the new age, and it's just like, wow. There's got to be something to this, you know. I think now is the time, and they're always saying that in the new age. Well, oh, the time is now for this and this and this. Well, no, the time is now to wake up. Seriously, wake up, and take a look. You know, don't just look at what's in front of you and what you know. Come out the box, look at something else, you know, see what else works, you know what I mean? Because what you're doing might not be right for you. Try something new. So yeah, that's it, because I could just keep going on. I've gone an hour and 15 minutes now. So yeah, I just wanted to just share. That's my testimony. That's what happened to me. That's how I got to God. Never thought I would, and the change is just incredible. Like I said, I'm on the up now. I don't ever get anxious anymore. I feel strong now. Like, I feel the Holy Spirit now, and especially when I praise and I worship, like, I shake because I feel the power. I feel the power so much, and I feel that conviction. You know, knowing that I am a child of God, it's just amazing, and it's fulfilling, and it's so peaceful, and it's everything that I've been searching for. Like, seriously, I can't tell you enough how much I have found what I have been looking for, and I love it. And I'm still going to do all my investigations and archaeology, because it still fascinates me. But obviously, I'm not going to be searching for like the spiritual means anymore now, because I know it. Well, based on the time, I have to look at the timeline. But if the times match up pre-flood and stuff like that, then you just know it's going to be something biblical to look at. So, or something in the same time frame as something else that happened. So I'm going to be cross-referencing a lot of stuff, and all these mud fossils and stuff. Like, they're just proof of like the beasts and the big massive reptiles that was on the earth before the flood and stuff. So this is just more confirmation to me. So please, I advise everybody to keep sharing as well. Keep sharing what you find, and spreading awareness to the truth, and, you know, showing the events of the Bible. Keep sharing it all, and we'll try and piece it all together. You know, make it into a proper solid story instead of just like biblical fairy tales, what people think. You know, I'd love to do that. I would love to do it, like, put it all out there, like a solid proof. But I know that'll take a big team and a lot of effort. So, and I'm going to university in September to do psychology. I've been accepted into all of them, all the ones I've been accepted into 5, and I've just got to make my choice now. So, onwards and upwards, you know, through the grace and glory, through the grace of God, all glory be to God. And, you know, I will say a prayer for all the viewers of this channel, all my friends, all my family. I love you loads. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.